Afternoon. First comment, I just had a chance to meet all you folks. Such a blessing, such an honor, and such wonderful people. God's great, and that He brought this group together in love, that He used Harlan as a tool to do so and brighten up so many lives. It's amazing. When I was looking at what to speak about, as we were preparing, the word that came to my mind about Harlan was of integrity. That's saying what you mean and doing what you say. And what I can tell you is Harlan, in every experience I've had, was a man, and I think every person in this room wouldn't even doubt it, is a man of highest integrity. Harlan didn't shoot low in what he said either. When we were gathering our thoughts and gathering possessions, we found in his personal Bible, which is up front here, the statements on the front of your program. That's one of them. He set that as his purpose. And if you read through that, I'll cover some of it in my testimony. He shot high with his purpose, and he did well. He did it with God's help. The other part that we also included was his guiding verse, and if you look over those, he obviously had thought well and long, and he kept that right in the front and back of his personal Bible. Anytime I'm sure, and I know Harlan did at times, feel tired and down, and he would immediately inspire himself with God's Word. I met Harlan in '79. I was 17, dropping his 16-year-old daughter off on a motorcycle ride that we'd taken on our first date. He was not exactly thrilled to see me, but he did well. He may have grounded her, but he did very well in dealing with me, without really pain or difficulty. We honored, respected each other. By 2 years later, which was just actually 31 years ago this week, I married this beautiful woman, Teresa. The subsequent years, Harlan shortly after that had moved from South Dakota down to Texas, where he started another life. I got to be part of that on holidays. He was my father-in-law, and he was a good father-in-law. We had the bonus of sharing a passion for riding motorcycles, and we were able to take some trips together. We were able to spend some time together. Harlan, with all of that life and all that energy, even from unfortunately his back pain led to where he couldn't ride the motorcycles anymore, but he never flagged in his intensity and sharing of the joy of life. He didn't retire from work, but he was forced by the back pain to spend summer vacations up with us. At that time, as my walk with Christ was strengthening, I had the blessings of being able to share that joy and that time with him as they spent in their RV. I just happened to have had some room on my property for Harlan and Vonda to stay, and we became neighbors. In addition to being a son-in-law, and he's a very good neighbor. Then friends, and then a man I'd call my father. He became grandfather to my sons. He was able to lead my oldest, Tavis, in discipleship last summer. A gift that I can't even have imagined would have happened. So integrity. This man said that his purpose was to live and honor Christ by knowing him more every day. And I know for a fact that Harlan spent every day studying his word, praying, sometimes for hours at a time, letting Christ shape and guide him. This is a man that grew. I told you he was a good man when I met first, but throughout his life, his compassion, his love, his energy, and his enthusiasm continued to grow, demonstrating exactly how Christ was working in him. He never missed an opportunity to share with others what God did for him. He was always eager to share in my enthusiasm and study for the Word. Even though he was plagued with the back pain and was often very tired, he immediately would perk up and spend time in animated discussion, in love with his family, in wonderful time just hanging out and talking in my house and around my house. The third thing he said was enjoying life with those he has adopted into his family and helping them know his name. I think every person here, in addition to me, could say there wasn't an opportunity he missed that he could take. He shared the enthusiasm. You know, I work as a psychiatrist, and I see a lot of people, some of them with terrible back pain. Most isolate themselves, feel self-pity, withdraw. Rightly so. It's a terrible thing. Harlan didn't do that. Anytime he came close to that, he prayed, and you could see the energy build, and that God was on his side. So I think Harlan showed to me just how powerful faith is. Anytime my faith might be flagging, all I have to do is think of him. And as Steve said, I'm sure that God has said to him, "Well done, good and faithful servant."